Boatbuilding News, the podcast. Let's do it. Welcome to Boatbuilding News, the podcast, a series of engaging interviews with key individuals from within the marine industry. I'm excited. This is going to be epic. I feel so privileged to be able to welcome Niels Klarenbeek, Director of METSTRADE, to the Boatbuilding News, to talk about preparations for the show and why it's going to be the best one yet. Hi, welcome, Niels. Thanks for joining us. You can probably tell us from the top of your head how many weeks it is until Mets now.
It is 4 weeks from Tuesday onwards, so we are very excited, yes.
A pretty busy time for you.
For sure. But it all goes very well, and we're very much looking forward.
Yeah, for sure. So let's start with an introduction. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Niels Klarenbeek. I'm the show director for METSTRADE. I am 44 years old. I'm a happy boat owner and father of 2 kids. And have a career in exhibitions, trade exhibitions organized in all parts of the world, not only in the Netherlands, but also China and the US. And for about 2 years now, I have the privilege of organizing the METSTRADE Show.
Yes. So that must be really great for you because, with your background of organizing exhibitions, but also, being a boat owner yourself, you're combining, two things in your life that, you obviously really enjoy.
For sure. I have been working at this company for 12 years now, and I must admit, the second week of November, my lunch break, I spent a bit more time at my lunch breaks because METSTRADE is like a toy store. As a boat owner, seeing all those pretty yacht equipment, it's really, really nice. And it's a privilege that now, I have the opportunity to lead this show and to work with these great manufacturers and inspiring companies all the way.
Yes. So before you were organizing the show, did you visit the show?
For sure, yeah. My first METSTRADE was, I even did an internship back in my first edition was METS 2000. So it's quite a long heritage. But as I said, I used to visit the show during lunch breaks, walking the aisles, and now, for the last 2 years, having the full responsibility of leading this event, it's really great.
But there's just nothing quite like it, is there? That face-to-face interaction and networking, and I think that, COVID taught us that, okay, we can do everything on video, we can do everything virtually, but it's not the same, is it?
Not at all. No, if we have learned one thing of COVID, it's the power of the human, the in-person meeting. Although Skype and Zoom and all the video calls we're making are pretty efficient these days, but once a year at least, you definitely want to have this occasion where you can spend with so many industry colleagues and do business with customers in person, face to face, and that's going to happen again in just 4 weeks again, and we're looking very much forward.
But that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, it does the job talking on the phone and talking on video, but you don't buy into that person, that you're doing business with. You don't understand them as a person, their background, their personality, and you don't have that sort of emotional connection, which I think buying behaviors, they thrive, that they're changing in the fact that we want to know who we're buying from and we want to be able to trust them. So it's just imperative, isn't it, that we do get together and we don't just fall back on, well, we've got through COVID by doing things virtually, so let's continue in that way. I think that we've almost appreciated this face-to-face interaction more when it was taken away from us.
For sure. We have had a pretty hard time with COVID around, but on the other hand, it's also it's almost like an advertisement for shows, because this very single place where you want to be at with the serendipity of meeting people you didn't know before. That's definitely not something you can have on the internet or in any other alternative.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know obviously you're the director, but I mean, how large is the team? You know, what does your team look like?
Yeah, I lead a team of 15 staff members, and I feel like being the head of the professional party planning committee, because we have the privilege of
That sounds like a much better job title.
yeah, for sure. No, it's actually spending a year of preparations into a 3-day event, and we run all the preparations. We go to different boat shows. We try to be on top of the market, and with visitor marketing, exhibitor acquisition, all kinds of functions within the team. It's really nice to see this event is developing towards the first build-up days, and then your floor plan comes to life. And that's every time a really thrilling experience.
Yeah, I mean, there must be such a diverse range of skills needed to bring together. You know, it's not just logistics. It's, you know, I mean, you could organise the best show ever, but you know, if you don't have marketing to tell people that it's the best show ever, you know, it's pointless. So everyone, I guess, has to come together from such a diverse range of skills to create the end result.
For sure. And we're playing a really, I used to say we're playing Champions League here. And I'm very proud of such a skilled team. I must say the team is pretty new in the way we are now set up, but everyone brings in his own her own skills. Some of them have a background in exhibitions in other shows, some of them not, but and they are all, funny enough, they share a passion for boating. So that's something we have in common. And it's a great spirit and great atmosphere. And now just 4 weeks to go. And I'm looking forward to see the event through their eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all those conversations, all those ideas, and all that planning. You know, it must be amazing to see it ultimately become a reality. And you know, it's almost like, you know, when you have a marathon runner that goes through their marathon training, and their marathon they see as their lap of honor. I guess, you know, that is what it's like for you guys when you finally see it open on that first day.
Yeah, the organizing a show is the ultimate form of project management. Everything you've done, you can actually see, and everything you didn't do as well.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
That's why you can better just do it and make sure it happens. And I must say, if I now look at how preparations go, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a very exciting event.
Yeah, it's a lot of confidence. Awesome. So, I mean, I probably already know the answer to this, especially sort of knowing a little bit about your background, but what's been some of your biggest challenges since you started in this role?
Oh, whoa. Yeah, I started in this role in April 2020. So my
couldn't
first
have been a harder time.
I still need to apply for the Best Timing Award because
onto the Boatbuilding Awards.
My first team meetings were already virtual meetings. In the month of August 2020, we needed to make the decision to call not to organize a 2020 in-person show. So after the cancellation of the 2020 event, we ran a virtual event, a purely virtual event in 2020. And then we had, of course, the hybrid event in 2020, last year, 2021, with such a challenge with the measures in the very last minute by the Dutch government in the last weekend. So
because I can remember it was very last minute, because I can remember everyone in the industry, you know, looking at it from the other side, everyone in the industry was all set to go. There was some last minute changes, wasn't there? It was literally the week before.
We had all scenarios in place, about 5 or 6 different scenarios, and we condensed the show floor on purpose from the very beginning. But the weekend before the show last year, it was the Dutch government which had announced that restaurants were needed to be closed at from 8 p.m. onwards. And within there is no international definition for what's called a lockdown, but some of the in some areas of the world, it was perceived that the Dutch measures were like a lockdown, and then we got all kinds of last-minute cancellations in the very weekend. But still, we ran a show with 1,100 exhibitors last year. The show was
still a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And the show was pretty different from a usual METSTRADE. But still, many exhibitors report that the ones who have been there, they report that it was highly successful in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, from an outsider looking in, when those last minute measures were put in place, and like you say, it almost affected the social side of the show, didn't it?
Yeah.
When you come to face networking, I think that plays an important part. So I think, I can see why there was cancellations. Obviously people could go to the show, a little bit restricted, but during the day. But anything that they had planned for catching up with clients over dinner, over a drink, which quite often, a lot of businesses done that way. A lot of relationships are formed that way.
Yeah.
That was where it had the biggest impact last year, wasn't it?
For sure. METSTRADE is about doing business, but having cocktail receptions and dinner parties and all those social events, they belong to the METSTRADE DNA as well. And last year we had not been able to, we were not allowed, not been able to facilitate that. And that's definitely one of the biggest changes for the upcoming show, because currently it's all belongs to the planning. And we have some exciting events to come up.
Yeah, also as well, personally for you, it must be a frustrating couple of years, because you sort of enter a new role. You're excited, you've got all these ambitious plans, and you want to show how successful you can be in putting on a show like METSTRADE.
Yeah.
But straight away, you've always got your hands tied behind your back, haven't you, through no fault of your own?
Yeah, indeed, it's one of the biggest lessons in COVID. Control the things you can control, and that's what we do. And there have been so many outside events which had an impact to the show. But so if I look back about challenges, I must say those have been. It has been like a roller coaster. But the roller coaster ride is about to be over in just 4 weeks, and it has been a very learnful experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what's been, looking back on this time, what's been your proudest moment? Is there a moment where you've stood back and you've thought, this is amazing, and I am so proud of what myself and my team have achieved here?
If I need to define certain moments, I would definitely. There is one moment in last year's event. We just discussed the situation in the past weekend, and then we had this opening ceremony last year, which was quite tense. About nobody knew what was going to happen with the upcoming METSTRADE show, and right after the opening ceremony ended, I got a phone call by one of our operational director within the RAI. He was really stressed and gave me a call. Niels, we're very sorry, but I need to inform you that there are huge queues and people are waiting in line in front of the METSTRADE entrance. And that was such a relief to me, because it was the very best news I could have at the moment. Of course, it was stressful to him. But we learned that people, you literally need to queue to get to METSTRADE, that narrative, it came across. We have even learned that some of the visitors they boarded a last-minute flight the next day to get to METSTRADE based on the stories they got from others. So literally, after so much work and such hard preparation, and as I said, it was like a roller coaster. If you get that phone call, you are so proud of the achievements, which is a team effort. I think that's definitely one of the proudest moments I could define.
Yeah, The funny thing of that is that he starts the sentence with, "I'm sorry."
Yeah,
Which,
yeah,
do you know what I
for
mean? I mean, that sentence itself is a roller coaster, because you must have thought, what is he going to say next? You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then to say, I'm sorry, we're so busy. What? Don't apologise for that.
No, but it also indicates, the company culture. With all the functions within the company, everybody is pushing themselves to the limit to make it happen, and especially during such a large event as METSTRADE within our company. And then, so I'm with you. It was a bit of hilarious, and after the show ended, the two of us had a beer and had a laughter about this very same story.
Oh, how funny. So, you know, I mean, what are you focusing on now? Is it purely just you're focusing on 4 weeks' time, or do you look a bit more longer term than that? Are you looking at next year already? You know, what are you focused on?
I must say the team is currently purely focused on the upcoming show, but right now I'm already preparing for the 2023 edition and beyond. Exhibitors will have the opportunity to do some rebooking. So we already are mapping out the new floor plan for the 2023 edition. We have some plans for future growth. So yeah, and if you look at this as an annual show, it's a very tight time window between two events. So you have to prepare in advance. So it's a bit of both. On the one hand, making it's the finishing touch on the upcoming edition, but on the other hand, there is pretty much of strategizing and preparations for future planning too.
So when the METSTRADE is finished, you know, do you have any sort of downtime, or do you immediately sort of get together to review and plan and think about what, you know, almost analyze what went well and that kind of thing?
Yeah, for sure. After our closing drink, the entire team will need some time off for sure.
I'm not surprised.
But I must say, then indeed it comes with the evaluation. We'll have the exhibition committee, that's our advisory board, who represents all the exhibitors in our show. The upcoming meeting will be in January already. And of course, they expect, okay, what's going to be the planning for next year? So we'll be evaluating the months of the final weeks of November, and the month of December is being used for evaluation. And then it all starts over again. So it's never a dull moment. No,
it just gets bigger and better every year from now on in, I guess. Because, you know, I guess we can't see into the future, but now COVID is kind of behind us in a restriction point of view. You know, there's it's all in your control to just get bigger, better, and more efficient every year. Yeah.
I must say the market is doing very well. Although there is a certain concern, but we have seen boat sales which were very good in the past 2 years. Boat builders report very good order books, and that's where we start mapping on the show, and from there I must say METSTRADE has a very strong position.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the upcoming show, how many exhibitors are you expecting?
We'll be having the latest figure is over 1,400 exhibitors will be part of METSTRADE. We will possess more than 10 halls at the Ride Center, so we almost take the entire Ride Center.
Amazing.
We have the Superyacht Pavilion will be back again at its original location, halls 9, 10, 11. That was very much condensed last year, but now it's there in full capacity. Not to the fullest, because we even have a waiting list of exhibitors waiting in line to be part of the Superyacht Pavilion, with slightly new configuration, because we have an extensive Dutch pavilion now moved to Hall 9, and I would encourage everyone to go and have a look. 1,400 exhibitors, and as we are now progressing in time towards the upcoming show, we see our visitor registration. I encourage everyone to pre-register their visits when intending to get to METSTRADE. But we see that the registration numbers are already ahead of the 2019 levels. So that was the all-time high for METSTRADE. So
I was going to say, so you're not even comparing to COVID time. It's actually before that when you were, at the all-time high, like you say.
Yeah, and so there is such an excitement in the industry that METSTRADE is going to be back. And those people who have not been here last year, they are so happy to be back now. And I wish I had a crystal ball on my desk, already looking in how the event's going to be like in 4 weeks' time. But no, it will be. I'm confident that it's going to be a very exciting edition.
Yes, definitely. So for you, what are the highlights of this year's METSTRADE?
We are bringing back all the important elements of the METSTRADE DNA. So, for instance, the Boatbuilder Awards will be back again at the Maritime Museum.
They are just incredible. I came to that in 2019, and I was blown away by it. It had everything. It was a brilliant networking opportunity, but it had glitz, it had glamour. It was one of the best nights of my life. Amazing.
Yeah, so we are thrilled that we have it back again. So that will be there on Tuesday night after the first day of the show. But of course, we'll start with the breakfast briefing, which includes the official opening. The breakfast briefing has a very exciting keynote speaker. His name is Corey Combs, and he is electric aviation manufacturer. So, gentleman is while our industry talks about electric boating, he has managed to do electric flying, and he's going to inspire the leisure marine industry. I'm looking very much forward to that. And of course, the Dame Awards, it will all be there. And then another important highlight will be the Elysium Ballroom, which is physically the epicenter of our show, because it's the very heart of our convention center. And that's where the Dame Award exhibits will be. It will cover the E-Lab, the electric and hybrid showcase. And it will feature the METSTRADE Theatre, because there is such a development. Apart from walking the show floor and talking to exhibitors, visitors want to be educated during those 3 days, and we offer a full content program for them at the Elysium Ballroom. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds amazing. So, without wanting to make you nervous, what are you most nervous about? I mean, it sounds like you've got everything in hand, and it sounds like nothing can go wrong, but there must be something that's just niggling, that's just making you feel a bit nervous.
It's if you ask me like that, the first thing which comes into my mind is of course the situation with COVID. However, I'm pretty confident that we managed ourselves into, not only in the Netherlands, but in all countries, that business is open. That would definitely that's definitely one of my biggest concerns. But apart from that, the things that we do control, it's going to look exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've controlled everything that's possible to be in your control. So you've got no reason to not go in thinking this is going to go smoothly. I'm confident, and this is going to be the best METSTRADE ever.
For sure, for a long time. I know that the 2019 was pretty good as well, and now it's going to be definitely my best METSTRADE ever. And we are definitely build something. It will be the new level, and
that's what I was going to say. You're going to set a new bar, aren't you?
That's thank you for those words. Yes, thank you.
Awesome. So a few sort of unprepared quick fire questions, just a little bit of safe ones, but a few fun would you rather questions just to fire at you, Niels. So just for you personally, would you rather a country cottage or a house by the sea?
Ooh, house by the sea, for sure.
Do you know what? I don't think I've spoken to anybody yet that hasn't started a would you rather with, ooh.
No, but this was an easy one.
Yeah, I know. I've let you warm up a little bit. Okay. Would you rather travel the world for free for a whole year, you and your family, or have £1 million to spend however you please, but you have to stay in your hometown forever?
For sure, the first. I think life is about experiences and not about money. For sure.
No, experiences and memories, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And would you rather a constant supply of the best coffee or a constant supply of the best snacks at your office?
Again, the first one. I am a coffee addict, and so no, definitely that would be certainly coffee.
I think your team of 15 might try and hold you to this now. It's going to be coffees on Niels. Awesome. And also, I love to ask this question, but, you have challenging, you must have such a challenging sort of days in your job, especially with COVID and everything that you've been through. But do you have something that you think about daily, an inspiring quote that you sort of strive to live by, that you sort of stick with you to get you through those tough times?
It's not literally a quote, but it's like there is an important tagline, a piece of a pop song, which you will not know because it's a classic one in the Netherlands.
I'm not really too clued up on Dutch pop songs, to be honest, but I'd love to hear about it.
No, I can imagine, but there is my colleagues will laugh about it. But this is a classic song from a pop group which is called the Truckenerkeks. And one of their songs is, and I literally translate for you in English.
Okay.
Do everything you do with heart and soul. And that's how I like to operate, driven by passion and honesty and a lot of love for the work you do. And going all in and deliver the best possible results. In my case, of course, the best results for the show, for the visitors and exhibitors. And I'm confident that anyone who is going to attend will recognize that. The Truckenerkeks, I could only suggest as something to listen to.
Definitely. So, but I think that's actually a really important message. And I think that runs through the marine industry quite a lot, is that people do things with passion in this industry because, a lot of the time, the key leaders in this industry, it's not just a job, it is a passion, and that shines through. And you don't often get people excel, if they are just treating it as their job that they do and, something they think about just 9 to 5. It has to be your passion, and that's what you have to be driven by.
That's what I say, going all in. Otherwise, you definitely can't, and do not compromise on that. Yeah,
absolutely. That's such a brilliant way to finish the show. So thank you so much for your time, Niels. I personally, and I know that, my company cannot wait to attend METSTRADE. And you've made me even more excited. I thought 2019 was good enough, but I am absolutely so excited for 2022.
Very much to look forward to welcome you here to the show, and I trust you will like it. And I wish you and all your listeners a very nice event in November.
Brilliant! Can't wait to see you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Niels. Bye bye. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, then it would be awesome if you could leave a rating or a review. Don't forget to subscribe so you can listen to us again. See you soon.